It is now 9:08 a.m. on Tuesday, June 16th, 2026, and I call to order this meeting of the Maine Gambling Control Board. Um, Obviously, we are in a new location today. We're at Hollywood Casino up in Bangor, Maine, so thank you for hosting us. It's good to get out and see the properties. There's also a Zoom option, which looks like folks have successfully got on. Um, so this is what we call a hybrid meeting in accordance with our board member remote participation policy adopted by the board back in July of 2021. The board expects that members of the public who attend the board meeting virtually will be able to provide public comment to the same extent as members of the public who attend in person. So if you're on Zoom, everyone should be muted, and when it's your turn to talk, we'll unmute you. The Gambling Control Unit, on behalf of the board, posted notices of this meeting with the agenda on its website with instructions on how to connect. So it's our hope that everyone who is interested in today's meeting received that in advance. If you're not receiving agendas in advance, please contact the control unit and they'll get you signed up for that. We also post online. We try to make it a week in advance as best as we can, so you know what's on the agenda. So at this time, I'll ask the other board members to introduce themselves and confirm we have a quorum. So to my left, Ms. Maine Boyington.
Darcy Maine Boyington from Hamden, Maine.
Steve March.
Good morning, Noel March, Hamden, Maine.
I'm Steve Silver from South Portland, Maine. We have two other board members who are absent, but we've got three, which is a quorum, so we can get moving. So with that, first up is approval of minutes from the April 21st, 2026 meeting. Any edits, questions, problems? Okay, let's take a vote to approve those. Ms. Maine Boyington?
Aye.
Chief March?
I approve. Aye.
I'm an aye as well. And Mr. Hanslip and Ms. McCusick are absent. Those are approved. So our director, Milton Champion, decided, he had better things to do than be here today. He is I forget, he's learning about something in New Jersey. There's a conference. So Deputy Director Mahdi is leading the charge. So we'll turn to you for the operations report.
Good morning. My name is Matthew Mahdi. I'm the Deputy Director of Gambling Control Unit. This is the operations report for June 16th, 2026. In April 2026, there were 7 shipments of machines and or associated equipment shipped to and from licensed facilities. In May of 2026, there were 7. There were 99 work orders completed in April of 2026 and 74 in May of 2026, which range from new game installations, removal, change of themes, operations, and communication issues. There were 45 entries into the inspector pass down log in April 2026 and 55 in May of 2026 to share information not only from within the facilities, but between the two facilities. In April 2026, there were 3 formal complaints, and in May of 2026, there was 1. The status update reported on the complaint dashboard. 10 consent agreements are being completed by the Assistant Attorney Generals, of which some are combined with others to total 13. 9 under review by the Investigation Committee, and 3 are being responded to by the facilities. There were no patron complaints in April or May. Self-exclusions, February and March, there were 34. And for April and May, most recently, there were 30. Totaling from March of 2026, we had 499. And currently, for May of 2026, we have 529. Oxford PD reported 48 calls in April and May of 2026, some of which were 1 band exclusion, 6 risk management issues, 8 legal activity, 11 medical, 4 suspicious activities, 5 possible intoxication, 9 potential driving under the influence, and 1 undesirable conduct and 3 miscellaneous. The attendance for Oxford was in April 141,358, and in May 156,255. Bangor PD reported 42 calls in April and May of 2026, some of which were 5 under the influence, 8 informational, 3 thefts, 7 calls to 911, 5 removal of patron, 1 PD crash, 4 welfare checks, 9 miscellaneous, and the attendance for Bangor in April was 59,395, and in May, 61,526. Lori Manson from ADAPT gave the following information regarding calls to 211 in April and May of 2026. Total hotline calls were 195. Problem gambling intakes, there were 25. Calls from problem gamblers, there were 16. Calls from others, there were 7. Male callers, there were 15, and female callers, there were 6. Veterans and military, there were 4 callers. Between the ages of 0 and 17, there were 0 calls. 18 to 24, there were 3. 25 to 34, there were 3. 35 to 44, there were 3. 45 to 54, there were 5. 55 to 64, it was 1. 65 older, there was 1. And ages unknown, there were 9, of which 6 were casino. 1 was lottery. Sports wagering, there were 2. Online gambling, there were 9. And others, there were 8. And that is the operations report, June 16, 2026.
Thank you. Any questions for Deputy Director Motti? Go ahead, Chief Marshall.
Yeah, I have one. Matt, there are 13 cases under review. Who presently sits, just remind me if you can, if you know, who presently sits on the investigations committee?
It would be
That's represented by,
Milt,
the director.
I believe Bill and Reed are on the vets committee.
I wouldn't necessarily call it a committee. It's a group. So,
Just kind of curious who's responsible for reviewing these
so
cases.
Matt, Milt, myself and Phil
Got it.
discuss them initially.
Yep.
And then we review them with the commissioners.
That's fine. That's what I wanted. Yeah, thank you. All good. That's all.
Question. I have a question about the report from Lori Manson, intakes. The March number of 24 is vastly higher than any of the other months prior to that. And if I look at the problem gambling intakes up above for April and May, that's equally high as May. Just wondering if there's some change that happened there. Because it seems like a substantial increase.
Yeah, question for Adept probably. March is a heavy gambling month.
But it wasn't in previous years, right?
Yeah, well, the last year was pretty high. That was the highest in
Yeah,
5.
True, but still significantly above that. So
Yeah, I don't think you can, if you look at the online gamblings and others, that's what's driving it. It's iGaming, it's prediction markets.
that was my fear, but I
Yeah,
guess I.
there's very few. Yeah, there's very few of these exclusions from casinos, from lottery. It's all online, and I'll save my comments about that. But when you have unregulated internet gambling, this is what happens, and the age restriction starts at 18. If you were to gamble with a regulated entity in Maine, it's 21 up. So that's a big difference. And it's unfortunate, but that's where we are. So yeah, we do pay attention to those, and I think we could ask Lori to or someone from Adept to come next time and maybe because that'll be past the halfway point of the year. So I think we'll have
That would be helpful. I brought it up mainly because I am concerned that it is that.
Yeah.
But I'd like us to know for sure if it's that, if there's a way possible to do that.
Yeah.
I'd like us to pay attention to it as we go forward.
Good question.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, we can have someone come. Okay. Any other questions? All right, moving on. We'll go to the financial report from Auditor Amanda Spencer.
Good morning. I'm presenting the financial report for the months of April and May 2026 for you today. Tax revenue collected from both casinos to the state of Maine increased by 0.8% or by $45,273 in April, and also increased by 0.7% or by $42,876 in May 2026 compared to the same months last year. Total tax revenue collected from both casinos so far during 2026 was $28,787,288, which is an increase of 2% or $587,766 compared to the prior year. Specifically by casino, Oxford Casino reported a total net win from slot machines of 7.4% and a total win from table games of 27.2% for April, and a total net win from slot machines of 7.3% with a total win from table games of 19.2% for May 2026. Hollywood Casino reported a total net win from slot machines of 8.5%, and total win from table games of 22.5% for April, and a total net win from slot machines of 8.5% with a total win from table games of 22.3% for May 2026. In the area of advanced deposit wagering, revenue increased by 47% or by $8,620 in April, and increased by 15.7% or by $9,205 in May of 2026 compared to the same months last year. Total tax revenue collected from out-of-state and in-state races so far this year was $161,895, which is an increase of 38% or $44,619 from the same time last year. And that concludes the financial report for April and May 2026.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Spencer?
No.
Okay, thank you. All right, we will go back to Deputy Director Motti to do your best Milton impression.
Okay. Morning is the director's report for June 16th, 2026. Director Champion is attending GLI's Improve Your iGaming IQ today and tomorrow in Lakewood, New Jersey, in preparation for iGaming in Maine. He and 4 other staff members attended the North American Gaming Regulators Association conference in Sarasota, Florida last week, which was very productive, and the ability to establish relationships with other states was, as always, the highlight. That's the director's report.
Yeah.
Nice when the legislature is not in session. A little
Right.
slower. Yeah.
Right.
Any questions for Deputy Director Motti?
No.
Okay. All right. So we've got a slew of license renewals to go through. So we'll take them in order. So first up is Penn ADW, who's applying to have their ADW license renewed. Materials are in the Dropbox, and I don't know, do you want to ask one set of questions for all of them, or should we go through each?
Well, I think I need to do it each time because there are different types of renewals. So, but I'll make it as fast as possible. So,
Sure.
does any member of the board have any reasons such as personal bias or a conflict of interest that would prevent him or her from rendering an impartial decision on this application?
No.
No. Does any other person present at this meeting believe there's any reason that would prevent any board member from rendering an impartial decision on this application? Seeing no objections, you can go ahead.
Okay, anyone here for Penn ADW? Okay, the only changes on this application were there have been changes to some executives in the ownership structure, but everything else remained the same. So that's why it's coming before us this year. But Deputy Director Motti, any issues, concerns we should be aware of?
Nope.
Okay. Questions, issues from the board? Okay. You want to take a vote? I'll entertain a motion to approve the application of Penn, it's officially Penn ADW LLC for their ADW license renewal.
I'll move to approve.
And I'll second the motion.
Okay. Let's take a vote. Miss Mayne Boynton.
Aye.
Chief March.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well, so we'll get that renewed. Okay. Next up is let me get the right corporate entity name. All right, it is Churchill Downs Technology Initiatives Company, and this is also for their ADW license renewal. Turn it back over to you.
Yeah. Does any member of the board have any reasons such as personal bias or conflict of interest that would prevent him or her from rendering an impartial decision on this application?
No.
Three no's. And does any other person present at the meeting believe that there's any reason that would prevent any board member from rendering an application? I'm seeing no.
Oh, other than I noticed that their senior counsel on the application is Andrew Silver, not a relation, but, you know, maybe a long lost cousin. Okay. Anyone here from Churchill Downs or Twin Spires? Okay. And the only change on this application, there had been some minor disciplinary action in another jurisdiction, which is attached. You can see the issues there. But Deputy Director Motti, any concerns or issues with this application?
No.
Questions, discussion from the board?
This is renewal. How many years has Churchill Technology been licensed in Maine? Do we know when that original approval
Well,
was made?
this is probably their first. I don't remember when we expanded. Penn had the only license for some time, and then the legislature changed the law. So I don't know if this might be their first renewal.
Yeah, I don't recognize the company name. That's why I asked.
I think that's right. So when ADW launched, there was one license, and then the legislature
Yeah,
opened that up,
that I recall, of course.
and now we have a couple different licenses.
Okay. I'm fine, thank you.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve this application for their renewal, ADW licensure renewal.
It's my turn.
Okay.
So moved.
Okay. Any discuss? All right, Ms. Mayne Boynton. Chief March.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. So of course, we thank all these companies for continuing to do business in Maine. All right. Next up is the application of AGS LLC to have their table game distributor license renewed. So I'll turn this back over to our Assistant Attorney General.
Any member of the board have any reason that would prevent him or her from rendering an impartial decision on this licensing application? And I'm seeing 3 no's. Does any other person present at the meeting believe that there's any reason that would prevent any board member from rendering an impartial decision on the application? You can proceed.
Okay. So again, this is for the table game distributor license renewal for AGS LLC. The only change on this application was with their ownership structure, and the org chart is quite something. If you take a look at it, but that's not necessarily a reason to knock them, but it is quite a lesson in geometry and physics of how that all holds together. But I know they've been doing business in Maine for quite some time. And the Whitfly report was good. So no issues from my end. Deputy Director Motti,
No issues.
anything? Okay. Any questions from the board? None. All right. So I will entertain a motion to renew the table game distributor license of AGS LLC.
So moved.
I'll second that
Okay.
motion.
All right, Miss Mayne Boynton.
Aye.
Chief March.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. So AGS LLC will have their table game distributor license renewed. All right, last, yeah, well, that goes without saying. All right, last up is the application of Genesis Gaming Solutions, Inc. To have their gambling services vendor license renewed. Anyone here from Genesis? Okay. Let's turn this back over to you.
Does any member of the board have any reason that would prevent him or her from rendering an impartial decision on this application?
No.
Okay. And does any other person present at the meeting believe there's any reason that would prevent any board member from rendering an impartial decision on the application? Seeing no one, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, one compliment to them. They, with their application, provided a product list, which is always helpful to see exactly what they do and what they're using in Maine. So that was good. And then the only change on this application involved some adverse actions in other jurisdictions, which they provided a list of. And the Whitfly report had no issues, but anything, any issues, concerns from Deputy Director Motti?
No concerns.
Okay. Questions, comments from the board? Okay. And nobody from Genesis here. Anyone in the room? Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the gambling services vendor license renewal application of Genesis Gaming Solutions.
So moved.
Okay, let's take a vote. Miss Mayne Boynton,
Aye.
Chief March.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. So we thank all of our licensees for doing business in Maine. And with that, we will turn to some unfinished business. I believe we need to look at the multi-jurisdictional personal history form. Is that right, Deputy Director Motti?
Yes.
Okay, and so what are you looking for us to approve these?
Yes. Currently, our application almost is identical, with some small structural changes. But we have quite a few people applying from out of state that currently have already filled out one of these multi-jurisdictional personal history disclosures, and we would like to adopt that formal one as our application as far as personal history disclosure goes. Our personal history disclosure will have an additional few questions that will be supplemented by the supplemental disclosure form. We are bound by some statute requirements for certain questions, drug use and things of that nature, and that would be on the supplemental. It's another couple of pages.
And is this all states, or there's like a compact between certain states that recognize this?
It's pretty much all states. Some do their own, but New Jersey, Nevada, Washington, Pennsylvania, Ohio, almost everyone uses this form.
Do I understand the previous iteration of our form wasn't necessarily compliant with current statute?
It was. It's the current form has all the additional questions already built into it. That's what made it different from this standard form. This new standard
Right.
form will stand alone
Yeah.
with the designated questions, and then the supplemental will address any other questions by statute or rule that would be needed.
It is, yeah. If you look on the supplemental form, some of these questions, it's surprising that we're still asking them, but that's the law. I get it. The terminology must be from, a few decades ago, on some of these, but yeah, this is pretty thorough. I thought bar applications were bad, but this is up there. So, so what we'd be approving is to adopt both the multi-jurisdictional form and the supplemental.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions for Deputy Director Motti? All right. Well, can we vote together to approve both forms? Okay. All right. So it would be to approve adoption of the multi-jurisdictional personal history disclosure form and the supplemental form for casinos and ADW. Let's take it.
I'll move to approve it.
Okay.
I'll second
All right.
Darcy's motion.
All right. Let's take a vote. Miss May Boynton,
Aye.
Chief March.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Let's get that approved. Okay. And what is this GLI? Deputy Director. This just for our information? Is there something we need to do about this?
It is the remote, the GATT protocol, remote verification threshold requirements. We do have somebody here from GLI.
Can I explain it? Do we?
I'm sure you could.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Please. Educate them.
Good morning to the board. Gabriel Benedict for the record, Government Affairs, GLI. So the notice that we originally intended to send out to clients with the updates to the new rules, we passed it along to the board director. We did not know whether this notice should be sent from the gaming board, from the regulatory authority, or us, the GLI, to our clients. We were going to do it one way or the other, but we wanted to pass it through Milt first, in which he wanted to present it to you guys here today for a vote on the decision whether it should come from you all or directly from us to our suppliers.
Okay.
And there might be an attachment. I don't know if it's attached in a packet or anything. Or you maybe.
Yeah, I've got this document. I don't Deputy Chair Motti, do you know GLI wrote this or Milt wrote this?
I think GLI had quite a considerable input on it, as they would be. They've done these types of advisements, and they would have a better understanding of the timeline to have these manufacturers issued this new requirement, and how to roll that out as effectively without causing too much disruption.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it should go from them to their clients, but if you have a different opinion,
I would agree that, GLI issuing it would be the best.
Yeah.
Because,
Rather than.
yeah, everyone goes through GLI dominantly. We do have VMM. So if they did it, they keep track of all the standards and they'll know, what's needed in Maine.
yeah, and if I mean, it seems like you all would be best suited to answer certain questions, and if there's something has to be elevated to Milt or to us, you could do that. So
And if I can just add, obviously the advisory would just be based off of what you guys require. So questions that would come in may have to go to you guys in terms of the waiver process and things like that suppliers are asking. That would be a regulatory requirement. It would be something from the test lab to give guidance or advisory to.
definitely,
Something just
yeah.
to consider as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be technical questions we can't answer, but when it comes to that, or you may be in the best seat to tell us if there's some trend or some sort of group concern that we got to address, that's in a blind spot we're not aware of. So, yeah, my lean is that you send this out. Anyone feel differently?
I agree.
Okay. Do we need to vote on that? Yeah, I just say go for it.
And you're poised to spend it. GLI is poised to do this. This is.
Yeah, well, I mean, originally that was the goal was for us to do this. But we ran it by Milt initially to see if it was a memo that wanted to come from the regulatory body or if it wanted to come from GLI to the suppliers as an advisory.
Mhm.
So one way or another, we were going to do it on our end, but if you guys wanted the official word, it would have came from regulatory body.
Yeah, I think you can.
Suppliers.
Yeah, you can go forth and send it out. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, one item of new business. This involves a consent agreement. This is GCB 2025. And then it's be cases 102, 125, and 140. So, anything you should know?
No, I mean, you guys, it was included in your meeting materials, so I assume that people reviewed it in advance. This case, in the broadest strokes, involves 3 incidents of, IC, internal control violations, similar violations where a slot attendant was making a jackpot payout in excess of $5,000 without a security officer, which is a violation of this licensee's internal controls. So because it was 3 instances of similar activity, they were consolidated into one consent agreement, and there are progressive fines being assessed for each of the violations.
Yeah, one change, I think it's typo. Look at paragraph 6. It says verify and sign jackpot payout slips for jackpots under 5,000. I think that should be over.
Yep.
Because right, that's each violation is because it was greater than 5,000. So let's change that. Someone from the licensee want to address this? Mainly I'm trying to figure out, what happened and then what was done since then to try to make sure it doesn't happen again.
So for each of these three incidents, they're all,
Can you introduce yourself for this Zoom?
Your name?
Melissa McRae, compliance manager, Hollywood Casino.
Thank you, Melissa.
Each of these three incidents are slightly different in nature. The first one was a jackpot payout for 5,000 or more, where the security assistant general manager misheard the communication over radio and suggested that they pay without security present because security was involved in other incidents at the time. The second incident was a slot attendant who had paid multiple jackpots throughout that morning and was in a rhythm and paid this one without security present.
Mhm.
And the third one was a slot attendant trainee that paid the jackpot without security present. Surveillance attempted to stop the payout, but the slot attendant could hear the communication over the radio. In each of these three incidents, discipline was issued. But more importantly, we do hold procedural review meetings for each incident and have changed our procedures and are hopeful that after this third one, that we have nailed it down and shouldn't have this happen again.
And so what should happen now, like in a perfect world?
Now is what happened originally was for 20 years, security attended every jackpot. It didn't matter the amount. In early 2025, we changed that to go along with the rules, which was we didn't have to have a security member present for 5,000 and more. When we do something like that, sometimes we have some hiccups, and we did in this case. So the first time we changed the procedure so that to enhance the communication, so hopefully the mistake won't be made. It happened again, so we met again and we changed the procedure slightly again. The third time what we did was we're not requiring security to be there, but we were requiring the slot attendant to gain approval from surveillance to pay it out, even at under 5,000 if security is unavailable. So there's levels of communication happening that should.
And security present is they're just observing this payout? Like what's their role?
To witness the payout and sign, they also sign on the slip.
And who's responsible for like checking IDs or make sure the person can
Lots.
Yeah.
Slot attendants do.
um
And surveillance did witness all of these jackpots. So, and they were all paid correctly. There was no incorrect paperwork or anything like that.
I think in Pennsylvania recently there were 2 self-excluded people who hit jackpots and couldn't get them, something like that happened.
Hopefully we don't have self-excluded patrons on our floor because we can card everyone that comes through the door. But if we did have a self-exclusion somehow make it, the system would stop the payment. There's alerts on the system, or the gaming system itself.
Question?
Good answer.
Okay. Any questions? Chief March?
No questions.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, so obviously not ideal for it to have multiple times, but I think been some corrections made and I appreciate obviously there was some collaboration here between the licensee and the AG's office to come to this, and I think that's always preferable to to try not a dispute here. So my opinion is we should approve this with the one edit to paragraph 6, and then obviously inserting today's meeting date in paragraph 14. Anyone want to move to approve it?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, let's take a vote. Ms. Mayne Boynton.
Aye.
Chief March.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. So that is approved. We'll get it signed and out. Again, thank everyone for working cooperative with that. All right. Anyone got any board business? Gotta find the date of
Next meeting?
we have a Zoom hearing.
Hearing, that's right. That's
Let me see. Forget when we scheduled that for.
Does it sound like July 28th? That's all right.
I think it's the 23rd
Of July,
June.
June?
Or is that the
Not
old
pushed to
date?
July.
Oh, that's the old date. I'm sorry. I just didn't know.
I think it's in July. When it is, I don't know.
28th.
That
So I'm quiet from my mouth.
we have not gotten a confirmation. I know that.
Well, maybe that's what, I don't have it listed either.
Let's see if I got an email from them. There are a couple dates that we kicking around. Let's see.
The 24th, I think was.
July 24th. Okay. That sounds right. Right. Okay. Yeah, I do have it. Okay. So Friday, July 24th, we are holding, it hasn't been confirmed, for a Zoom hearing. This is I don't know what you call it. A hearing from a
Employee
license.
appeal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a potential licensee individual.
Licensing.
So that'll be on Zoom. If the public wants to attend. Our next board meeting is August 18th, and we're going to be at Oxford Casino that time, and then after that we'll be back in Augusta. Any public comment? Start with anyone in the room. About on Zoom? Nope. Okay. Anyone got anything? All right. So it is 9:50. Meeting is adjourned. I guess I need a vote for it, don't I?
You want to be consistent.
Yeah. All right.
Counselor.
You want to move?
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn this meeting
Yeah. At 9:51.
at 9:51 a.m. on the 16th of June.
Okay.
And I have a second.
All right, Miss May Boynton.
Aye.
Chief Hart.
Hi.
All right, I'm an aye as well. All right, now we're adjourned.
Now do the gap.
There.